Hi, welcome to part two, where we're going to finish this beautiful wreath that we started here. This is from the World of Flowers coloring book by Johanna Basford. Alrighty here, so we're going to get started here. I guess what we're going to do here, if you haven't followed, you just got to go through here and what we did here. I just, the only thing that I didn't do from the first one is I just kind of did a few of these leaves here, but they're just the same as I did here. Some of it I don't want it to get redundant, you know, so I mean the leaves are kind of the same. And sometimes with the kids interrupting, I never know how I'm going to do the videos, but just leaves are kind of leaves, so I just kind of... sometimes you'll see me do all the leaves, and then sometimes you'll just see me do some of the leaves. So you just got to kind of tune in, and you'll see what you're going to see, I guess, right? It's always, whenever you watch my videos, it's always going to be like a surprise, right? I guess it's part of the fun. Okay, well, let's have some fun. All right, so let's take some pink rose, okay? My whole goal here is just to teach you and have some fun. So let's have some fun. This is pink rose. So let's grab some pink rose and let's just base it in. Hope you all are having a good day. My day was kind of crazy. I have some house guests. And the weather, oh my gosh. I've never had snow in Arizona. Is absolutely never happens. It's just unbelievably crazy to have that happen. If you watched my Facebook, you will see I had snow here in Arizona. Just crazy. Alright, so I'm just basing this in here. This is a pink rose, and I'm just going to base all this in. Okay, I'll just do a couple. So see, there's no really method to it. I'm just kind of basing it in. And then I'm going to see which color I'm going to grab here. Let's grab, I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. How about, I don't know, all the kids were here, and of course came in and messed all my colors up. Let's do a Scarlet Lake. So let's take a Scarlet Lake, and what I'm going to do with this one is, see how I'm kind of pushing a little bit harder at the base here, and then I'm just gonna bring that color down just a little bit, kind of pushing it harder up in here, blending it down. Alright, and maybe a little bit in here also, and then just bring the color up, right? Just bring that pretty color up, give it a nice shade, and then let's do the same thing in here. Okay. You want to keep it darker where that base is, just because it gives it that depth, or it gives it kind of that shade. And see how I'm kind of flicking it in, where you can keep it, you know, because you want to keep it lighter as you're blending it in towards the middle, like so you can kind of feather it in, you know. And just feather it in like that. See, we're gonna make this kind of a little dramatic more. If you want to see more videos and help support me so I can make more of these videos and hopefully get a better camera, just go to my Patreon. It's like a Patreon group where you could join, and then you pay a certain amount. It's very little. It's not very much, but you you get bonuses and you get videos, longer videos, and it's like a place where you could support artists. It's pretty cool. You can join there, and it unlocks all the videos I do and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So if you can join that, that would be really great. It's a very big help for me. Alright, so just see how you just push harder here. Alright, then when you get in here, do the same thing. Push a little harder. And then see how I'm kind of feathering it in. And then here, push it out. You want to have that blending. You want to blend it. See how I'm blending that in like that? See? You want to do that all the way around. Same way, where it's a little darker in here. Okay. Feather it. See how I kind of do those little strokes where I sort of I'm flicking the color down. You just got to get used to the way your pencil feels in your hand, you know? You'll get used to it. You just got to keep just playing with it, you know? Just get used to it. Hold it in your hand and just keep playing with it. And don't get to where you can always add more color, you know, as far as layers go. Don't push it too hard in the beginning. You can always go back and add more. It's better to always start lighter and do it in layers if you want to be really good at it. You know. See? There you go, just like that. And then if you feel like you need to go back in, you make it a little darker. You can go back in and darken it like that. Go back in. And then you can darken it if you want to, just like that. Alright, and then just do this all the way around on this flower. Yeah, see? Alright, so now we got that pink rose again. Do the same thing with the pink rose. Just base it in. Pink rose. Okay, and then take your Scarlet Lake and then just blend it down. Feather it in. And then feather it up. And then same thing. Same thing. Alright. Alright, now see how I'm turning? I turn it to face me because that's how I like to color. I like to be able to pull it towards me. So you have to learn what's more comfortable for you. You got to get really comfortable with how you're holding the paper, how you're holding the pencil. You know, even how you're sitting. You want everything to be comfy. Nice and comfy. And see how I'm flicking it down like that? And then same thing, come around here and then bring that up. Go. And then I come over here and then I come up. And then same thing. Then if you want it a little darker, just for a little bit more accent, you can make it a little darker up on here, you know. Come down. And here like that, and do the same thing all the way around on this flower, just like that. Same thing. And then if your pencil starts getting unsharp, like mine is, you're going to want to sharpen that little baby, because I don't like it when my pencil's not sharp enough. That's not cool. So I'm just coming around here like this. Okay, see that? Just go all the way around, like so. Alright, just like that. And do the same thing all the way around. Same colors all the way around. Okay, so I just finished all that right there, which is I mean, the same, I just did the same thing all the way around here. And I'm going to do the same thing on the buds, but I think I might blend these buds in a little bit more. Let's just do the same thing. This is the pink rose, and I'm just going to take the pink rose here, put it in here, and I'm going to put a little darker, I think, at the base, right? Can you see? I hope the camera's picking that up. I'm just putting a little darker at the base, and then I'm going to leave the tip kind of white. Do you see how that's just a little bit lighter at the tip here? Let's go in a little bit. See? Just kind of giving it just more of a lighter. See? Just kind of darker in here, so kind of outline it here, kind of darker in here, and then light in here. And then I'm going to do the same thing in here. And then I'm going to lighten it. Make this one a little darker. And then the other one. And then what I don't like, I mean, well, it's not what I don't like, because I like everything about coloring, but when you get the little chips that come off of your pencil, you just take either your breath or I don't like you particularly using my finger, but again, I could see my kids were here. Oh, they took my brush. Oh well. I usually have a little brush and I would brush it, but they came and took it. You know, before I film, I really need to be more prepared. But you know, I never know when the whim will hit me or when the time is right. I get so busy, and then I don't really ever plan these things. I just say, I'll just sit down and make a video, and so. I just sit. It's kind of like when you want to color, you know. You just sit down and then you just grab your stuff and you color. And sometimes your stuff's there. Like right now, I'm looking for my stuff. It's not here. It's a little frustrating, but whatever. Okay, this is the Scarlet Lake. I mean, I'm no different than you guys. I'm the same kind of. I have my life just like you do, and my life's just as hectic, and I got to fit my coloring time in just the same way. You know, I just got done just now before I just ran up here trying to figure out how I'm going to make dinner for the gigantic crew of all the people that are here. And then, but I still wanted to color, so I come up and I try to find my coloring time, you know. You just got to fit it in somehow. Because it really does make you happy when you can find the time to color. You just have to fit it in, because it really makes you happy. I'm telling you, man, when my stress level gets high up and I can find the time to color, I'm telling you, it really relaxes me. And I know, because I know I sleep better, my dreams are better, I don't have anxiety. It's just, coloring is just amazing. Takes me into a whole different plane. I love it. I can't even tell you how much. So now what you can do is you can blend it. You can grab a white, or you can even grab any kind of a lighter color. Even if you can't find a white, which I can't find. Oh, I'm so mad right now. Actually, I don't even like using that word, because I'm not mad. I'm just frustrated because they're all in my stuff and I can't find it. That's okay. I can blend it with the, even if I blended it, I don't know, let's try this one. This one happens to be a Deco Peach. So I'm just going to use a Deco Peach. So my point is that you can blend your colors. Oh, see, when that happens, just blow it. It's all okay. You could blend it in with the Deco Peach if you want to, and you'll get maybe a different look. I mean, I could have did it with a white, but did it with a Deco Peach. And it actually came out kind of cool. I actually kind of like that Deco Peach look. The Deco Peach look is actually kind of cool, huh? Yeah, see? Sometimes, now see how I'm kind of I'm forcing the wax to move. You see that, how I'm doing that? I just want it to have a little bit more of a smoother blend. So see how the wax kind of blends itself now? So now I might have to put in a little bit more of that other color in. This one in. This is that Scarlet Lake I was using. I'm going to put a little bit more of that in, just in this area here. Just put a little bit more in here. You know, a lot of those videos you'll see is so much has been edited. But this is not. This is exactly how it's done. You blend, you push the colors around, and you work with it. I really do wish I had a white though, but you can use your finger. That's fine. That's pretty. That's nice. Yeah. Came out good. Either way, even though I don't have all the colors, and so sometimes that happens. You got to work with what you have, you know. Here's another one I saw here. This is a light peach too. I'll keep this in my walls. What I do is, if you notice here, let's go white out. See, what I do is I'll just hold colors in my hand that I need, and so if I'm working with them, I'll say, okay, you know, light, medium, dark, darkest, or whatever, and if I need another one, I'll grab it. But that's what you do. You just kind of hold your colors, or I mean, if you want to, like right now, I know I'm going to just kind of put this one down and then, you know, color. But I just want to teach you, because I know a lot of you are really new and you're just getting used to how you're going to hold your pencil. So see, this is how I'm holding my pencil like this. I'm keeping it a little further so you can kind of just get different views, you know. So you can learn. That's the way to learn. You know, you see different views. But as you practice, I'll get closer. No, don't worry. There you go. Okay. All right. So, but the whole thing is just to get used to your pencils, and the more that you use them. Oh, sorry. If you don't know, I'm sick right now. If that's why if I sound weird, I got a cold from my daughter, and that's why. It took me a minute to put out this second part 2 of this video. I got very, very sick from that flu. It's so awesome. See my positive side. Oh, it's so awesome. I love it. Just think happy thoughts. But yeah, so the whole thing is to just learn your pencils. Like, I know every single color in my coloring box. And by the way, if you go to my Etsy shop, I have a whole thing on learning your Prismacolor pencils. And that's how you learn them. You take that chart that I have, and you take every single pencil and you fill in every single one of those boxes, and you shade them in by hand, and you learn those pencils. That's that peach. This is that peach I'm blending it with that I did on that first bud. And you learn by just blending those colors. You fill in every single one of those boxes, and you will learn your colors. And once you learn your colors, you're going to feel so comfortable, you know. And you're going to learn how your colors blend, what colors go good together. You're going to learn the different gradients. And yeah, it gets a little messy, but that's okay. And it's just a matter of just practice, you know. That's it. Just practice, 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 practice. It's just like with anything, you know. You just got to practice, and you're going to get better and better and better. Okay, so let's try, how about this color? I don't know, I'm just pulling colors out now. I don't know, do I feel like this color? No, I don't. I just changed my mind. I don't. I'm gonna use I can do a cream. You know, like when I pick my colors, I don't know either. I just kind of go with what I think, and now I'm changing my mind altogether now, and I want to go with the blue, a bluish violet here. So I am gonna base this here, okay? Because I want this to have a nice flow with it, right? So I want it to have a flow. So I want to put a blue here. I think it needs a blue. So let's take a cloud blue here. And let's just base this whole flower in with blue. And we're going to come in a little bit so you can see a little bit better. And when I'm basing now I can let the middle lighter if I wanted to do electric flower, but in this case I'm just gonna fill this whole thing in. So nothing fancy schmancy, just filling it in. Alright, just filling it in. Okay, let's try this one. This one looks good. Cerulean blue. Alright, let's take some cerulean blue, and I see how I'm just bringing that color out. See? I'm just... See? I'm just bringing the color out. That's all. Okay. And now, see, the thing is too, if you do it a little uneven and not like, in other words, how do I explain it? Like, see how some areas are wider, so it's not exactly in a circle. A little bit uneven. It looks more natural. You know, and then let's do the tips. Okay. Yeah, we'll do the tips. And this is a small flower. When they're small like that, it's harder to get a lot more detail. You can't really, because it's so small. But you can still do a good job. Even though it's small, I still have to give it good detail. I'm just coming around, and then I'm just feathering it down into the middle like that. See? Just to give it a little life to it here. Now I'm going to grab a Indian Throne Blue. Now with the Indian Throne Blue, I'm going to put it in some spots. Not all the spots, just some spots. Just to give it some oomph. Some oomph. Is oomph a word? I guess oomph is a word. And maybe we'll come down over here. And maybe over here. Now I might even want to throw in some yellow. Yellow and blue make green, right? So if I put in a little bit of a yellow color, right? If I can find one, if they didn't take it. Let's say I grabbed a deco yellow, and if I put in a little bit of yellow in some areas, you don't even have to do all the areas, just a couple areas. It just gives it a little glow. And some of the, a little bit of, see how it just, I don't know if you can see that or not, it just gave it a little bit of like a glow into that blue. Guess you saw that. Alright, so since I have my yellow out, I'm just going to put a yellow on this. Just happen to have it out, so why not, right? And I might as well do this guy. And I'll do these little guys. There we go. There you go. Alright. So then I'll take, how about, alright, some lime peel. And I'm going to, lime peel. And I don't want to go all the way to the edges. I'm going to leave the edges a little bit. A little bit not colored. Right? Okay, that's lime peel. And then I'm going to go up here on these guys, but not all the way to the top. Just, oops, I went outside the lines, but whatever. Well, I shouldn't say whatever, but you know, sometimes you mess up. You can't be too worried if you mess up once in a while. Okay, this is an artichoke. So now I'm going to take artichoke and go right inside that line here, and I'm going to give it some shade. See how I shade that leaf? Now it looks a lot better. See, it just gives it a little bit more. See, it's not even that hard, but it gives it a lot more definition. You know, if you just left it one color, it doesn't, you know, it's about the layers. The more little colors, the layers of color, that's what makes it look better. Okay, and then let's grab when you're grabbing colors, you want to go light, medium, dark, and darkest, right? So look through your greens and say, okay, here's espresso. Espresso is a really good shading color because it's a dark, kind of like a brownish, but it's got a green tone to it, but it has a nice shade in it. See how it's giving that a nice shade? So let's do a stem here. We put a nice stem. This is espresso, and you want to put your espresso. You're going to give your leaf some expression now with espresso. Now see? Put in some shade. And now I'm just lightly putting in a layer, a little harder where where your stem is, a little harder there. A little harder down in here where it's a little more shadier, right? But see what I mean by the layers? That leaf instantly turned so much better looking, right? Just like us when we put our makeup on. We turn better looking as we accentuate our features. Okay. And you can put a little drama if you want. Maybe some little cracks there, wherever, you know. And if you, there you go, see? A little leaf there. You can maybe come down with the espresso in here. And then take your lime peel up here. Then come around here. That's my espresso. This is my espresso. I'm just giving a little shade on the bottom of the leaf is all. There, yeah. And then you could use espresso again in the bottoms here to give it some shade. See, that's the thing, people, you forget. Like, the more you give attention to little details like that. Like, see how I'm putting a little bit of espresso here? Right there, just that little teeny bit, but it makes a big difference. See how it just adds a little bit of more oomph. Just a little bit more oomph, like in here. I think it needs this could use a little espresso in here, right? And the more you play around with your picture and the more you shade, the more time you take with it, you know, by adding your shades, the better your picture will come out. You just got to take your time with it and have fun and relax. Put your shading in, see, just adding that little bit of shading, you know. And just play around like that. You can even put espresso in here if you wanted to too. I just wanted to show you what it would look like. So let's say I wanted to put a little espresso in here just to show you. Just, you know, I want to teach you about shading. So see what happens? See, I want to show you the difference too between this side and the other side. So by putting a little bit of shading, see the difference now between here, how this is a little bit more richer than there? It might be subtle, but you can see it's a little bit, like if I put it, here, I'll show you. See in here, if I put a little bit of espresso in here, and this is just a little thin layer. If I took a time and I went across and I did this to all of them, see, it's just a little bit of shading. You know, it just depends on how crazy you want to get and how much time you want to take to give your work the more detail, you know. But the more detail that you put in, the more shading, the better your final piece is going to look, you know. And it also depends on your mood that day and how much time you have to devote for that particular day. But I think that if you do a piece, you know, you should just take your time, and if it takes you a long time to do one, who cares, you know? Just take your time on it. Put it aside and just keep coming back to it and working on it. You know? So just keep working on it, just keep working on it, just keep working on it. Okay? And you can even, now you can even use this espresso as a shading color in here, in here if you want, because it's still a darker shade, right? So I just want to show you what that would look like here. You could go with a darker red or a darker burgundy, but I just want to show you that you still could use, because this is it's a tone that is a little bit darker, right? But you see, it still gives it a shade. So this is how you learn your shading. I could use this to shade in here too. I could use this if I wanted to. You know, and so this is when you're choosing colors, you can, you know, I could go with this tone. I can go with this. This is a Tuscan red if I wanted to. A Scarlet Lake, right? You see how this is a Tuscan red, right? If I wanted to tone this a little darker, see, this is a Tuscan red. See how I can darken this up now with the Tuscan red? See? If I wanted to shade this whole thing up a little bit. So let's just do that since we're already started this. So this is a Tuscan red. So if we wanted to add a little bit more detail to this, and we wanted to say, okay, well, let's really do the extreme coloring method and take the time and you know, bring out the shades of this flower here, then we have to, and see, like if you go out a little too far, sometimes if you get a little too carried away like I do, I'll bring out my handy dandy eraser, which I do many times. You just work with it and say, oh, it's okay. It's all good. See? See what I mean? And this, like I say, this is the Tuscan red against that Scarlet Lake. See, I'm just putting it in areas where you want a little bit more shade. See? Just blend it nicely up. This is actually a really good lip color too, by the way, when you're doing lips. You might want to write that down. And then you blend that out with white. It's a really nice lip color. I don't know, can you see that good enough? But see how when you blend that out, it's a nice color, huh? Just wherever you want it to be a little bit shadier. But that's where you get the extreme, a little bit more of the drama. By adding just a little bit more. Just a little. This brings out that drama. You can come back in here, put it in here too if you want. Okay. Alright. Alrighty, so there you go. So play around with that for a little bit until you're happy, okay? Alrighty. Well, I hope you're learning a little bit. My whole goal is just to teach you, you know, how to really learn your colors and how to not be afraid of, you know, pencils. Because I know when people start, I know when I was trying to teach my son how to color, he couldn't get it. He couldn't get the flow of how to use the pencils and how to shade and how to blend and everything. And it's just about how to learn how to control and blend and use your pencils and just how to get used to them, you know. So just play around with that, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, so ta-ta for now. Okay, bye-bye.